What up traders, what up investors, Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be looking at SRNE ticker, that's Sorrento Therapeutics. Of course, this has been going up like gangbusters. We're going to be looking at some interesting options activity, looking at some potential overhead price targets, and then also look for a potential support levels. If you are not in this stock, this thing has run up quite a lot. So let's go ahead and jump into the chart here, and then we'll be jumping into some potential larger positions that we're seeing come through the trade tab within the options queue. That being said here, we're basically up about 15% today. We're only here basically at 10:30 a.m. here Eastern Standard Time. We have some potential price targets here, and this is how we got them. Looking here on a daily side, we did a Fibonacci retracements from the previous swing high to the low here. That kind of gives us this basically line here at the 2618, which is basically at $19.87 for some overhead upside pressure. And then as well, we have another Fibonacci retracement that we did from a previous swing high to a low here. Nothing really came into play. So what we did as well was did a Fibonacci extensions. So that's kind of the inverse of that, just kind of see a correlation between that pattern. So we're looking here at the draw tool, going down to the Fibonacci extensions here. So we go from the swing low to the high to this low here, and we're hitting the 2618 here as well at $18.35. Both pretty crucial levels for some potential overhead resistance. To the downside, we're really looking for the moving averages to kind of line up with the parabolic SARs. If this does decide to come off and start to sell off or potentially hit some very strategical support points, we're going to be really looking at, you can see here it's been holding and riding up that 5 EMA really aggressively, with the momentum and RSI really printing higher alongside with the volume zone oscillator just continue going higher. And this is a very, very bullish, aggressive move to the upside. Can this be sustained? For sure, but it needs to take a break potentially again with those two overside targets there. To the downside, we could potentially looking for level 1, not really strong support around $14, and then really the very first level strong support be around $12.47, and then coming back down to the 21, which is around $10.22 here on the daily side. That's the 21 EMA, that's the yellow line there. So those are basically your levels of support on the way down. As you can see here, even though it had the last move up was really substantial and a very much shorter than we're currently seeing here, but that's when it was still like considered somewhat of a penny stock or a low blow stock. Now we're looking at $17 here, looking for this to kind of start trading sideways here, potentially getting to that 21 potentially if it can start slowing down. But again, this is going to be really tied to the momentum and their overall stuff that are doing with the vaccine, with the virus. Looking here on the trade tab, we have a pretty large options buyer basically placed around 10 a.m. Buying about 1,602 calls at the $25 strike price all the way out in December of this year, paying it for about $4.40, so that's $440. That's the Delta 55. If we can duplicate that order, that's basically a tad over a $700,000 bet, placing that for potentially seeing SRNE getting up to that $25 level. Since that option's pretty far out, not far out, but it's basically, 130 days out, so it's going to be we're going to be looking at a different time frame, so we're going to move this chart to the weekly side. So this is a weekly chart of SRNE. Basically, each of these little candles is a 1 week, and we're looking at a 3-year time frame. So we're going to do a Fibonacci retracement from the previous high that was way back into the beginning of 18 to the low that we just saw basically last year, and we're seeing this really come into fruition here. Since this options particular trade is really betting on a longer time frame, we're seeing this really kind of play out. We saw some potential overhead resistance around the $10. We cut through that, cut through the 13. Now we're looking for potential holding pattern or potentially breaking through the $16 level. Again, talking about that initial overhead resistance around $18 to $20. But then you're seeing that 2618 come into play at around that $25 price target. And as you've remembered, we just talked about that trade. This individual options is looking for the 25 call. That is, again, very much a bullish trade on this. Again, this trade was executed at 10-ish o'clock at a 55 delta, so kind of interesting to see that at 55 delta due to the fact that the option has not got up to the $20 limit, but since the overall momentum of everything has just really driven the price substantially higher. Not saying that this is going to come crashing down, but I think this is a very risky trade and very much speculating on, again, you're really betting on the virus and this company coming out and performing and competing against so many other folks that are really doing a lot of great technology and trying to combat this terrible pandemic that the whole world's really facing. So this is, again, a very speculative play. Be super careful out there, folks. Again, guys, I really appreciate everyone showing up and watching the video. If you don't mind hitting that like button if you learned something. If you didn't, you know the dislike button. And if you're interested in joining the Dyslexic Investor Club, there's a join button right next to the subscribe button. And we also have a fantastic Discord you can join for free. Completely awesome. We have a lot of great discussions there as well. Again, guys, this is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.